Yo, what is up, guys? It is DPS Podcast, episode 149. Yeah, 149. That's right. 149. And yeah, we had a hiatus last week. My homie is hopefully feeling a little bit better today. You know him as the man, the myth, the legend, the man, the many slaps, the man that has made. I don't think he's made a video in the last week or so because he's been sick, but we'll give him a little break on that. Slow-mo backslap, how you doing today, man?
I'm good. Can they hear me? I hope they can hear me. I hope they can hear me. You know, because you know how we have to check. We always have to check at the beginning of the show. I'm good, man. I'm much healthier now. Shout out to everyone who was concerned and checked in on me. I appreciate you guys. It's been a very interesting week. This has got to be like the wildest week. The wildest week. One of the wildest weeks in this gaming community, but I don't know if people really go into we ain't got to touch on that. But definitely the wildest week in gaming, because good grief, man, it's just like every day there's something.
Right.
Every day. Like if tomorrow, if we just found out Nintendo just decided to shadow drop the Switch 2, I'd just be like, okay. Like, all right. Makes sense. That tracks. It's been that kind of week. It's just been craziness all week long. Nvidia, PlayStation, Xbox. And in this addition, we missed last week. So last week was pretty wild as well. So man, let's just go get into it because we got a lot to get into. Not as much as last show where I had like 20 topics, and we did get through all of them, even though Forte
it did take 3 hours.
Hey, look, man, we had to provide a quality show with quality entertainment and quality information, and so we did it. But we gonna get it done tonight. Let me shout out a couple people. Shout out to Capono 5150. What's up, man? Shout out to Erodimus, Gregor Von Doom, Railzer 00, Ducky, Percolator 9000. What's up, Perk? I'm so glad he's gotten over asking me for Twitch channel points. Shout out to Chips, brother. Glad to see you, Chips.
What's up, Chips, man?
It's been a week, man. I'm glad to see you here.
24 hours.
I hope you would be in great spirits tonight. Shout out to Spider 13, Brian East, Trevor Birdsong. Trevor, by the way, is going to be in the latest Hallmark movie, The Glow Up for Daisy. It's called. I don't know why it's called that, but it takes place in Montana. You know, it's typical. You've seen them all, but you know, it's just. Shout out to Trevor. And Reggie Bone in the house. What's up, Reggie? And Stardust Acero.
Reggie Bone's act. He was like, it took 30 years to realize living and working in 2 countries is hard.
He said, "Yeah, right, Jim." Okay, we will definitely get into that. We will definitely gonna get into that. But like,
yeah.
Oh, let me tell you. So last night I beat a game. Guess what game I beat?
You finally beat Starfield.
Brother, I beat Starfield like.
Oh, did you wait? What you beat
Starfield?
First Descendant? You can't beat that game, can you?
Well, I mean, it does have a story in the campaign. They actually let you
play the whole campaign during that little part?
No, you can't play the whole game. Like,
so you definitely beat that.
You can play probably like maybe a total of like 10 hours of the campaign for First Descendant. No, I don't play fighting games. I haven't touched on Mortal Kombat.
Shout out to True Serial said the show started on time. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's what happens when you got Forte hosting and not slow mo. But continue.
I start on time. If I don't start on time, it's because you're not here on time.
I don't want to hear that.
Anyway, you ain't gonna guess.
I ain't gonna guess.
I beat Exoprimal last night.
Oh yeah, you told me that on the phone. I should have guessed, and I'm like, why would you even want to beat that game?
I mean, I that's a good question because I did not enjoy. So check this out. Exoprimal is like Overwatch with mechs and dinosaurs, right? But the downside to a game like Overwatch is you have to rely on teamwork. And that wasn't a problem when I first started playing the game. When it first came out, and it's in Game Pass and everything, I was playing it with a crew who, we would get at least 4 or 5 people to roll, and it was fun because you could communicate with everybody, everyone, and everyone understood. Hey, look, we need a healer. Somebody be a healer. We need a tank. Somebody be. You wouldn't even after a while. You wouldn't even need to say that. Because everyone knows what their role is, and you just, going through doing the matches. The game it's only got like really like 3 maps, and there's a PvE mode that may have like 3 different variations of what to do, and a PvP mode near the final stretch of the mission. But it's just so redundant. And I think that's why literally everybody kind of just pieced out. Everybody just decided, we ain't playing it no more. Not really like verbally, but just like, yo, I'm good. So after a while, I was just playing it by myself, and so playing it by myself, it was a real struggle. And I would like do a match or 2, and then I'd go play something else because I was bored. But last night, I was really mostly motivated by the fact that I needed the storage space. I need the storage space for other games that are coming out soon. And so I was like, let me go. Because look, full disclosure, like I'm going to replay through Spider-Man 2018 and Miles Morales again before Spider-Man 2 drops. And I don't have the storage space for either of those Spider-Man games. So I was like, I got these unstalled games that I haven't finished. Let me just get these games up out of here. And so that was my motivation of finally beating Exo Primal with the terrible story and really boring gameplay. But it's over with. It's done. That's up out of there. I did beat Starfield, but that was like a week ago. Like a week and a half ago, Forte. So yeah. But that's what I've beaten so far, and I'm going
happy for you.
I'm going to beat Immortals of Avium before we have the next podcast. I would have beaten Immortals of Avium in one more game. I'm not looking at my PC at the moment, so I can't like.
Are you going to beat that game before the studio closes?
I hope so. That studio might close tomorrow, though. Who knows? I ain't beating it tomorrow. But I mean, that's absolutely awful for them. But
yeah, that's terrible.
Forgot the name of that studio. That was their very first game too, man. It sucks.
It's not that good at all. It's too many good.
It's fun. It's just not. It's not that great, but it's fun. You just can't.
But the thing, okay, so yeah, it's not terrible, but compared to games that are out right now or games you could be playing, doesn't stack up.
Here's the problem with AAA development in 2023. The problem is that if your game does not sell immediately, you're probably going to lose your studio. Like, it's a bit different than what it used to be. The stakes are so much higher because the cost of AAA gaming is so much higher than what it used to be. So essentially, like back in the day, like you could have dropped a game and it's a dud. And matter of fact, here's a great example: Compulsion games. Compulsion really kind of has not have really. They haven't dropped a good game yet. Like right. people may say We Happy Few is decent. It's not really a good game. Before that, they had a game called, I think, Contrast. I think was the name of the game. That was their very first game. Now, that game is like a AA game. We Happy Few is kind of a AA game too. But that was if Contrast was a AAA game with a AAA budget releasing in 2023 the way that it did, Compulsion games wouldn't exist no more. That's just the reality of the situation. And so it sucks because Immortals of Avium bombed massively. Like its performance was not that great, still isn't. It didn't sell very good at all on any platforms. And EA almost immediately was like, yo, slashed. Like, I think they lose like half their staff or something like that.
Yeah, so good half of it.
So if we ever hear from them again, they're going to either be like a support studio under EA, or they're going to be doing a much smaller project that's less risky because they haven't really proven themselves. And again, AAA developments is it's hard and it's expensive. But I'm done rambling. What we got going on, man? We got going on.
Yeah, well, we got a lot of going on, but outside of that, playing Starfield, actually shout out to Shout out to Rodimus hit me up on Xbox yesterday. I had jumped into Destiny to do some Nightfalls or some GMs with
my god. I jumped in Destiny 2 as well.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Doing what? It. And why?
I'm making a video.
You trying to do a retrospective or something?
No. Look, you'll see. I'm making a video. I'm making a video.
I'm looking forward to it. So I jumped into the game, and then Arada was like, "Destiny?" ? And I was like, "Oh god!" I said someone would see me jump in this game for the first time in 2 months. So I jumped in there, played a little bit of that. That's the only time I jumped into that, and then honestly, outside of that, just been kind of working. I slept a lot over the last 2 days since I was off work. It's like my body was saying, "Lay the hell down." And then that's kind of what I've been doing. But let's get into the podcast, man. Well, first, I want to thank everybody that's here at the show. Really appreciate you guys for coming through. Sorry that we missed last week. And, we always try to be here for y'all. But when one of the men is down, we got to make sure that we take care of ourselves. If you want to follow along, in the description of this video or this podcast, all the links for all of the articles that are referenced in this podcast, you can see them all down there. Every last one of them, all the links. Your boy went through some extra work today because he had some time to do it, and trying to make this podcast a better experience for not only the people that are watching now, but the people that will be watching later. And if you want to help support the channel and the podcast, make sure you hit that join button.
Are you going to do timestamps too?
Yep, sure am. I already got them. I got you. Look, he's slow-mo.
I don't have to do this.
He don't even know what to say, do you, slow-mo?
I know what to say. I don't believe you. Okay. You're gonna have to prove it. That's what I got to say. But all right, I would welcome the change. I would.
Well, listen, guys. I'm trying to make Slow-Mo's job a little easier. My man was sick, and I got to make him feel like he, that I missed him. So I'm gonna do this for him. But if you guys like the channel, like the videos, like the podcast in general, hit the join button. Best way to support the channel. And if you are already a member, you can hit the you can share and give subs that way too. Is always another good way of doing it. But let's get into the show. First topic, we missed it all last week. Xbox and the massive amount of leaks that kind of happened. It's kind of been talked about all week until basically yesterday, when the whole world decided to turn upside down in multiple different ways. But,
that was like the biggest leak ever.
Biggest leak,
the most exciting thing to happen in months. And then this week was like, hold my beer. And then now this week is just like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy.
I don't know what's happening.
So
everything is crazy.
So first thing, Slow-Mo, Xbox leaks. What was the first thing? I mean, we'll talk about the emails. We'll talk about the emails and everything separately. But when it comes to just the leaks outside of the emails, what was the number one thing that you was like, that's interesting? Like what caught your interest the most?
Oh, absolutely. The Bethesda roadmap of games. The very first thing. So did you notice that there was a description of a licensed game?
Yes,
that Bethesda is working on. And then if you weren't paying attention, you would just assume, oh, that's just Indiana Jones. We already know about that, no big deal. But Indiana Jones was already on the list.
It was already listed there.
So it wasn't Indiana Jones. It's a different licensed game. And so when I saw that, I was like, that is fascinating. I wonder what that game is. And I don't know. I kind of hope it's something Disney related. Disney owns everything anyway. I hope it's not like another Indiana Jones spinoff. I don't even know if I really want to play this Indiana Jones game that Machine Games is making. I'm not doubting them, but it's just like Indiana Jones is. It's so 80s, it's like it's not like
they can't even do a movie right. How can they do a game?
Exactly. The last 2 movies have been absolutely terrible. So it's just like, does anyone care, right?
That's true.
And then you got the problematic nature of the fact that like Harrison Ford don't want to play the character no more. He's definitely not going to want to be the voice actor. You probably are better off not even going with like Indy, which would be weird for the very first Indiana Jones game to not be like featured or have Indiana Jones be the focus of the game. It just, I don't know. Like, I think there's so much to it.
I mean, they did make a movie on that.
Yeah, but I mean, that's fine when you're on Indiana Jones 3. On Indiana Jones 1, the game that is, you should like have Indiana Jones be the important focus to the story, which I think probably will be the case. It's just that they'll just use a different voice actor.
Or they can do a young Indiana Jones.
I hope it's young Indiana Jones.
They can do a young one.
Nobody wants to play old Indiana Jones complaining about his aches and pains. And another thing, it needs to be a third person shooter. It shouldn't be first person. But all that said, like I think that these other licensed game, if it's, I have so many ideas or so many thoughts of. I'll be down with that, depending on what kind of Star Wars game it is. And since Machine Games is mostly, I'm sorry, Machine Games wouldn't be doing this. I don't know who's doing it. They didn't really say which studio was working on it, but I think that was probably the most fascinating thing I saw. The second most fascinating thing I saw was the controller, which looks like it's incorporating a lot of functionality that the DualSense has for the PS5 into like a hybrid Elite controller. It's not quite Elite, but it's got some features of the Elite as well. And I think that's a little, I might have to cop just to see what's up with it. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, those two were the most fascinating things I saw. What about you?
Man, that was probably the most impactful one for me, just seeing those games. But the thing that stood out to me the most was the fact that I felt like I was vindicated and right when I told people that the y'all don't think this S is selling, and it's selling like crazy. And I don't care what Matt Piscatella came out and said about it being a 49 50 split. Ain't no way that the X and the S is like neck and neck in sales, because those
how is Matt wrong?
No, man, those stock listen, man. You try to tell me all of a sudden over the course of the last 2 years they found a way to write that number? They don't even ship out X's like that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not trying to say you don't know your stuff.
I'm not talking about just being one store. I understand what you're about to say.
Yeah, because he's seeing data for the entire country.
Slow-mo.
Yes.
Literally everywhere there has not been, like all this past holiday. There was no X's. No X's anywhere.
I see X's.
How many X's did you see compared to S's, Slow-mo?
I go, how I go, I live in my Best Buy. That's like my second home, right?
Yeah, right.
Every time I go into Best Buy, I already ordered it. I just go to the front. They know me by name.
Okay.
They know me by name the way Whataburger knows Dre by name. I shouldn't have said
that. Man.
Anyway, look. They know me by name. And every time I go there, they don't keep like PlayStations and Nintendo Switches and Xboxes in the gaming section.
No, they keep them up front by the counter.
They keep them behind the counter so that like right, so that like make sure that nobody tried nothing, kind of thing, right?
They're literally up there by the pickup line in the very front of the store. I know.
And my eyes just go to them all the time, and I just kind of like, as I'm waiting for them to get the item that I just ordered that I didn't really need, but I can't help myself, and I'm waiting for them to get the item, and I just count. I see Xbox Series X's all the time, and I've been seeing them for well over a year. It depends on the area and the allocation, and maybe your area is just stronger with Xbox than my area is, and they were just wherever you went. They were copped. But for me, I always see that they'll have PlayStation 5s, like 2 or 3. They'll have like a dozen Series X's and like maybe like 8 or 9 Series S's.
Okay.
But look, I could go get a Well, no, it's too late now because they closed. But tomorrow morning, I could go get an Xbox Series
Well, no,
X
I
right
could
now.
go. Well, now I think the stocks are great right now because even I have like 9 or 10 Series X's in the back room because I think a lot of that, at least in my area, got rectified over the course of the last 4 to 5 months. So I'm just looking at it like the thing is when I was thinking what I was talking about is I'm not saying now that number ain't that because this document is from 2 years ago. I'm just saying when people kept trying to say he's just making it seem like it's never been that number, and I'm sitting there like, no, at some point that was correct information. And another thing is this is I think about insiders or people that talk about this type of stuff. Once you see official documents, and these are official documents, like literally these are from the court case, like numbers and everything written all over them. Exhibit numbers are written on these things, so these are official. I just like they're going off of estimates from retailers and stuff like that. I forget the name of the company now because it's not called MPD anymore. So I'm not saying that their information is not right. It's just like if you're gonna dispute official documents, have something of yourself official say that it's wrong.
Well,
instead of just saying it's wrong.
He's not a random dude.
Yeah,
he is the NPD guy.
Have you ever noticed when they want to really make a point, they'll go out and they'll put out a chart that shows stuff like that, like an official chart?
Well, maybe he was tweeting from his car and he couldn't pull out his laptop and throw a chart together for you, Forte. But the man knows
it's been a week. It's been a week since then.
He don't. No one pressed him and was like, Matt, I don't believe you until you go in PowerPoint and create a special presentation, a special slide for me.
Yes,
I need it for me. Real official and professional. Please do it for me so I can believe this legit until I see that, even though you are the one who makes the slides for NPD. Until then, I don't believe you. Like, come on, man.
I know. It was just weird to hear like the first thing that came out, but I do think at some point that number was real. Now, over the course of the last 2 years, has it balanced itself out? Absolutely.
75 to 25 split was absolutely real when Microsoft made the whole document that said that. It was real at that point.
Yeah, that's all I was saying, but that was just real interesting to see that was the case because, like you said, areas are different. The other thing is just to see just the amount of effort that Xbox is trying to put into Game Pass. And like, you remember your video a long time, Slow Mo, when you said it's not Xbox isn't Xbox, it's an ecosystem, it's not a console.
Yeah, and Game Pass is the foundation, and people
Game Pass is the foundation,
and all the Xbox guys like got upset at me, and now it's like it's their mantra. It's just funny. Go ahead.
That's but that's all that's everything that told me, man. Every little thing that came from all of those leaked documents that basically told me that Game Pass is their forever thing. It's like the thing that they cherish and want the most, and outside of that was really all that came from just the leaks that I really cared about.
No. Well, there was. What did you think about the handheld part?
Well, if you looked at
you think that's real, or you think that's really going to come out?
Well, no. First of all, they say it's being handled by third party. If you looked at that, the diagram. Actually, you sent me the thing. I got it. The diagram said that the third party controller, like the single controller, the handheld, were all like third party, funded or will be funded third party. So I think that's probably one of the things they probably did think, because that might have been. Because wasn't it a Keystone?
The way that slide looked, the stuff that was on the upper level was like a mix of things that Xbox creates in a mix of things that, like, hey, we just put our services and software on this platform, like smart TVs, right? They have smart TVs on the list, but we know they ain't making an Xbox smart TV.
Right. No, they're not. They definitely ain't doing that.
They had tablets on the list. They had laptops on the list and stuff like that. They're not making those on their own thing, those versions, those things. But on the lower part was stuff that they were going to be making, like the controller, like it was a couple other things, but it looked like they got their own version coming out of the
Mm-hmm. I got it up on the screen. Did you? I don't know. There you go. I don't know how you went silent.
Because you muted me. That's how.
Oh no, because I changed the thing and that was muted. That's why. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just changed it back.
Oh boy. Let me make sure that the guys in the chat can you guys hear me?
They can still hear you. They can hear you now. I went back to the original screen.
Okay.
Anyway. Yeah, they can hear you, sir.
Okay. Okay. So I don't know. Look, I'll pull up the slide. I'll pull up the slide myself to try to because maybe I'm just misremembering what I thought I saw. That's a word.
It is a word. You're right about that.
You know,
topic list.
Give me a second. I'm just oh, what the? Oh, here we go. Okay. Is this thing? Can I not get this document no more?
Yeah, you still get it. I got it. I just pulled it up.
Oh, okay. No, it just took a minute to pull up. Okay. I'm on this old laptop. Yeah, because they had the whole Xbox gaming as Series X series launch, which is all these are devices and accessories that we either support or make at launch. And then they had as of today, which was like I don't know when was this, like 2022 when this document came out.
Mm-hmm.
And so you see third party streaming stick and set top boxes, which is like, like a cable box, like a Comcast cable box or something like that. And something little like little tiny Roku kind of devices. And then they got Xbox Gaming Beyond. And now that I'm seeing it, okay, this is what it looks like to me. Because the handheld definitely was on the upper portion, actually. So I misremembered that. I thought it was on the lower portion, but it's on the upper portion. But you know what's the difference about the upper portion?
Which one are you on?
Slide I don't know. You
it tells you the bottom right
hand. Xbox Gaming Beyond. Go to 007.
007, that's it. Here it is right here.
You notice on the upper portion, the devices that they make, they actually have a actual like little small tiny JPEG of it in the slide.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff they don't make is represented by just generic Windows icons.
Right.
So Cloudblade, high-end PCs, they don't make high-end PCs.
Nope.
They don't make the third-party streaming sticks. They don't make the low and mid PCs. They don't make smart TVs and mobile phones or iPhones. And they do have their own browser, but like clearly ain't nobody using Edge, right? So all that stuff is not, but look at the stuff that is an actual real picture for. Yeah. Cloud device, handheld, and the consoles. They're making that handheld.
You think so?
Well, let me preface this because Phil Spencer did come out and say some of this stuff is no longer accurate, right? So maybe that got wait, didn't the cloud device get canceled?
Keystone, technically it did.
So there you go. So that's canceled.
But see, if you look at this, the thing that I was looking at, where's it? It's down. It was the
but,
graph.
and then the other thing, go back, because if everything that's on the lower section on slide 7, it is actual representation. So they're gonna make their own keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, they're gonna make their own keyboard and mouse, which is right here.
They got the Elite controller, they got the core controller, and they're gonna have this premium controller they're gonna sell with the new Xbox Series X refresh. And then they also got, we already know they got their own headset, but look, one hand controller, which is probably going to be for the smart TVs. And then you got mobile controller, which is the hand bone kind of device, where you can just connect both ends to your phone and it kind of operates like a switch.
There's a slide where they talk about all of that stuff not gonna. Okay, so right here, development, outsource. They're outsourcing. See right here, development, one-handed development model, outsourced development model, wireless headset. So they're outsourcing the wired headset. The one-handed grip. These are all stuff. These are continuous development, 70%. There's another one, but I see what you're saying. Definitely, the fact that they are making a controller, they are making a keyboard and mouse though, which is very interesting. They're actually, because up until this point, the only keyboard and mouse that's officially through Xbox is the Razer one, which is I think it's the Razer Turret, is what they call it.
And it's Razer, so we don't recognize anything that Razer makes as quality. So they can just keep that and go make something else. Go work with Logitech or go work with Corsair or something. Don't bring Razer anywhere over here. I don't know if they figured, hey, it's the same color schema. They use green, we use green. No.
What do you
stop using Razer?
What do you think of this slide right here where it says they're doing, first of all, they're doing separate launches because they have the 2 different hardware SKUs coming.
I don't quite know if Ellawood is still going to be a thing. The Series S refresh, since they already dropped a
1 terabyte
refresh.
Black.
Yeah, the 1 terabyte black. They already dropped that. So like, are you going to do another refresh after that already?
Well, the new this
honestly,
refresh will
I kind of think they really don't want people buying the Series S as much as they would like people to buy the Series X.
Well, this refresh will have the same functionality, not the same, power functionality as the X will have, because the X, it will have the new Wi-Fi 6. It will have
it ain't gonna have that GPU.
No, but that's the only thing it does. It's still going to have the same things. I mean, you got to think about it. The S is going to be the same thing that it is now, with just those updated components when it comes to the Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and stuff like that. Outside of that, you're just getting the. But that's what the system doesn't have now. The black one doesn't have that.
I mean, look, if you own the current white Series S or the 1 terabyte black Series S, I do not think this refresh is not anything you're going to upgrade to. This would be something that if you are a casual gamer that's still on last generation and you want an Xbox, or you are a PS5 gamer and you've been looking and you're like, man, I want to play Starfield, and now Hellblade 2's out. And we really in the dream territory, but still, like let's say you want to pick up an Xbox to play some of those games, then you could get yourself a Series. You'll probably go for this newer version of the Series S due to the technology that's involved with it, than the older ones. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if they're still. I don't think they're gonna.
Okay,
I think
so
they're just gonna do the Series X, I think.
Okay, we'll just say let's say they do just what you're saying, and they do just do the black one to keep that. End of life for the 512 would be basically holiday next year. $199 Black Friday deal for end of life of that system. And then end of life for the Starkville, the one that we have now, which is the X. End of life for the disc-based version of the X at the launch of Brooklyn. Do we think that Xbox really is going to go all digital in 2025?
Yeah.
all digital. Like you can't even buy a physical disc, a physical system.
No, okay.
Because that's what this is saying. This is saying in 2025, Xbox is going to be all digital.
Did they say they were going to discontinue selling the original?
Starkville is here. Yeah, right here on this line. Starkville end of life ahead of Brooklyn launch. And Brooklyn is the diskless 500 gig, 2 terabyte system. Starkville is the disc-based Xbox Series X.
Well,
so when I saw that, now this is what caught me the most on this. I was like, so Xbox is basically telling me that in 2025, you will not be able to buy a Xbox from retail, brand new, that is a disc-based Xbox. It's only digital going forward.
Well, look, I've been an all-digital gamer.
I have too, for the most part.
2016. So, hey.
For the most part, I have too.
Me. This doesn't affect me, but there are plenty of physical disc gamers that are going to be pretty upset with that. I think.
Yeah, that's an interesting move right there. And once again, Phil Spencer in his comments did say that, a lot of these plans have changed. And
yeah, they could have changed their mind about that too.
Yeah, hopefully not. I hope they changed their mind about that, not just due to the fact that, I don't think that most people are digital. I mean, for crying out loud, 70 to 80% of most gamers are digital when it comes to like the numbers that come out. But it's just a simple fact that there is a good, healthy amount of people that do like to buy disc still, and they just don't want to be stuck in the ecosystem where they can't, where you don't feel like you own your games, because as you can see with just Nintendo's the prime culprit of it, when they close markets down, you can't get access to them no more, like they did with the Wii and the 3DS games and stuff. But it is what it is on that. But Slow-Mo, is there anything else you want to talk about these leaks, or do you want to get into those emails? You want to say something about those emails or anything before
let's move on? Let's move on.
We just move on. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the next topic. Let's talk about NVIDIA. NVIDIA, their French offices got raided because they went in there saying, we don't know what they were looking for, Slow-Mo. We just know that, NVIDIA's been at the top for some time now. A lot of different things are coming out when it comes to the processes that they go through when it comes to, silicone and everything like that. But we really don't know exactly what's going on here. But the biggest thing is, I've never heard of a graphics card developer get raided because of whatever. And what do you think this is really about, Slow-Mo?
Well, according to the French Competition Authority, that they raided NVIDIA's local offices in France on the suspicion that NVIDIA had engaged in anti-competitive practices. So, I mean, honestly, that's kind of believable to me.
Right.
when you own 80% of the market that you are in, I could see that you probably did some anti-competitive stuff to help either get you to there or to maintain you staying there. So, yeah, wouldn't surprise me at all if that's actually what the case is. Do I think it's going to mean anything in the grand scheme of things? Not really. I don't think they're going to try to alter the market or anything. We laughing at.
Gregor's like, people compare 4090s to the size of a brick in a fence. Her and the video was selling bricks.
Yeah, them bricks are pretty expensive too.
That's a very you can't
moving weight out here.
And those are the type of bricks you can chop up and get more out of. You got to sell those as one piece.
But no, I don't think this is really going to matter at all. I think this is more to do about AI, which, if you look at NVIDIA's numbers, all of its growth right now is coming from AI.
Yeah.
And so
it's all coming from. It's like ridiculous how much they make off of AI, where as you would think graphics cards is a bigger side of it. It is. It's just more of the SoC that is the more the bigger part that they're using for the AI side of it, and they're making billions and billions of dollars off that. They're making billions of dollars off of graphics cards too, but they're trying to find a way to get to the e-commerce side. They're trying to get that stuff more and more, because guess what? As much as we hated it, Nvidia liked all of those miners and stuff getting holds of their graphics cards.
Absolutely, they made so much money.
They loved it. They
made, and then they were able to take all that back, and then sell used mined GPUs to the consumers that have been starving for an upgrade for the longest time.
So they love that. So now they're trying to find a way to legally. I mean, that was legal too, unfortunately, but they're trying to find a way to like get some of that revenue back, and that's what AI is doing for them. So serves them right if this is the case, but you know, what's the name? Also, someone else said that, you know, serves them right because they're the reason that EVGA don't make graphics cards no more, and they were some of my favorite graphics cards too.
They were the best graphic.
Yeah, literally. Makers. Yeah, I love their graphics cards, and their RMA process was flawless for EVGA if you bought it from them directly. So that's interesting to see, but you know, it's going to be a little bit more time until we hear out exactly what's going to happen here. You know, of course, there's going to be some type of court case that's going to take place, because guess what? You don't raise somebody's building without having to go to court later. So we'll find out more about that as time happens. But what I definitely want to get into the fact that everybody thinks Fortnite is doing amazing. Everybody. Fortnite is like one of those things that keeps giving, and you can't. It's like Epic just makes money, fist over hand over fist. You know, they're making $20 skins, $40, you know, skin packs. I had to buy Slow-Mo a skin the other day because I was wrong about a conversation we were having.
You're welcome. I mean, thank you.
You're welcome. I had to buy him a skin. Shout out to Harley Quinn. But it looks like Fortnite ain't doing as good as people think it's doing. Like, it's doing great. It just ain't doing as good as it was doing. And Epic, well, I should say Tim Sweeney, in a email that he sent to his staff, talking to staff, they laid off 19% of their workforce, which ends up being close to 900 people being laid off due to basically Fortnite not making as much money as it used to make in the past, Slow-Mo. So what are your thoughts on this?
I think Epic has been resting on their laurels with Fortnite for too long, a little too long. They had a bunch of games they were working on when Fortnite blew up, and very slowly they have either not allowed sequels for those games when they came out because the staff there was going to start working on Fortnite, or those games were canceled because the staff there had to start working on Fortnite. It might be now time to reverse that trend. It might be time now to still, of course, maintain Fortnite, which I play, you know, on a weekly basis. I don't play it daily. I don't play it daily no more. But I play probably like at least every 2 days or 3 days. But it may be time to start developing for other games again.
I don't think they know how to do it anymore.
Well, I mean, look, the guy that the lead guy on Fortnite left, so maybe he left because that's the direction that they're going. Who knows? But I think that they gotta do something about that for certain.
I mean, I think
the laying off, and it's not just them, because we've seen layoffs for so many developers and publishers. And what I don't like to see, though, because it's if I was an investor in these companies, I'd be highly upset when they tell me and other shareholders, we're doing great. We never had the amount of profit that we've had here in this year before. But you know, the reason why you got all that profit is that you dumped so many staff that were working full-time with benefits and stuff like that. And a lot of the time, these companies, they're basically just playing the long game, and they made promises that like to their investors that we're going to do this and we're going to hit these numbers, we're going to introduce these new features, that kind of thing. And they, in order to make sure that their approval rating stays high, they do things, they cut corners to make sure that those changes they said would happen, or those goals they said would happen, to actually take place. And so that's why you'll see a publisher have record profits, record revenue, but then still laid off like 1,000 employees.
Yeah.
That's why. It's cooking the books. And Wall Street don't care. Just as long as it closes the way it's supposed to close, whatever. But I think that they need to get back to making more games, and they have the resources to do so. But like that definitely needs to happen. And it's speaking to someone who likes Fortnite, that can't be your only cash cow. That, and then publishing other games, which they've done a decent job of doing. But yeah, you need more to keep it, to keep your money going like that. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I just think a lot of people, I think it was a good move to do no build mode for Fortnite. I think that got a lot of people in. But I also think
the reason why I play it.
Yeah, but I also think that's kind of the reason why it may be falling off a little bit, because if you didn't fall in love with Fortnite for what Fortnite was in the beginning, they just gave you a reason to play the game. Because think about it, Fortnite, most people that didn't play Fortnite because of the no build mode or because of the building mode in it, the game to them wasn't interesting enough to want to learn how to do that. So you finally gave people a way to play the game without having to do the building. But it wasn't, it was, what'd you say?
Real quick. Thank you, Capono. Epic has acquired studios
that's true
that make major games. And so this is also not necessarily, it's fine for revenue, but it's not necessarily fine for growth, because you're buying, they bought Fall Guys after it blew up.
After it blew.
I'm fairly certain they would have loved to look in the future, see this game was going to be awesome and be a massive success, and paid whatever was necessary to get that exclusive.
Make a sequel to Fortnite.
I don't know about that.
I mean, the thing about Fortnite is they could just update it inside the engine like they did when they went over to Unreal Engine 5 recently.
And to be clear, we're not thinking like Fortnite's not going anywhere.
No, Fortnite's not going anywhere. That's the cash cow, literally.
Yeah, but it's just that doesn't surprise me that it's kind of slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, I just think in general, just ultimately just comes, like I said, back to the people that were excited to play Fortnite are just not excited to play Fortnite, or and also it's just a bunch of other games. 2022 was kind of a down. I mean, there was a lot of games, but it really wasn't a lot out there to probably pull people away. But then you think about it, some of these people, it's been almost a year and a half, close to 2 years that they put the no build mode in. Those people weren't meant to, in their minds, they weren't meant to just stay on Fortnite. They decided to play other games like Slow-Mo. Slow-Mo played Fortnite almost every day, not every day, all day last year, but he played it more last year than he does right now. So a lot of people are doing that. And of course, when you look at your revenue starting to go down and your profits starting to go down, like they're not in a dire situation, but they probably hired in a lot more staff. They did a lot more other things for that game because they had a bigger player base that they had to feed. You got to put more content out there and get those people what they need. And now that those people are starting to fall off, it might just be the natural evolution of having a downscale because you just don't have the players that you had before. So who knows? Next time when Fortnite does blow up, they'll just scale up again. I just think that right now, with that game being pretty much, it's literally the only thing that Epic works on. They know exactly what their revenues and their profits are going to be like moment to moment, because it's literally tied to one game at this point. So it's unfortunate that this is what's happening, and it's happening across a myriad of developers. There's other developers that's laying people off. You had Creative Assembly, their codename Hyena game got canceled.
Yep. And then the team looks like a good portion of that team got laid off too. Yep.
Yeah, they got laid off too. So it's unfortunate, but hearts go out to those people, and hopefully they land on their jobs. I mean, most of those people that worked on Fortnite can pretty much probably find a job somewhere else, especially with all these developers moving their stuff over to Unreal Engine 5. And they need developers that already are proficient in working in that. So these developers are going to be very sought after too. So because they got experience working with it firsthand from the very beginning. So that's going to be big for them. So Slomo, before we move over to the next one, I got to ask you a question. I know you are a fan of Control 2. Big fan of it, right?
Control 2.
Yeah, Control. Just Control 1, right?
I was like, there's a sequel?
No.
Yeah. I like Control. Look, I really dug the combat. The story's very kind of all over the place, but I really like Control.
So we already know that the world of Control and Alan Wake, they sit in the same universe. And Sam Lake came out either today or yesterday and talked about the DLC inside of Alan Wake 2. I know a lot of people probably haven't played it because I hear it's okay, and I haven't played it myself or anything. But the DLC in that is basically going to roll you over to what's going to happen in Control 2. Now that you know that this is going to have kind of a branching narrative that's going to take you into Control 2, would that make you interested in playing Alan Wake 2, Slow-Mo?
I don't like survival horror games.
I know you don't, but I know you like Control. So would this do it though?
I might have to indulge. I might. We'll see. I might have to jump in on this. I was already kind of fascinated by the ability to switch back and forth between the Alan Wake and the other woman. I forgot her name. The black girl that's a cop. Or a detective or whatever. Like, I like the fact that you can switch back and forth pretty seamlessly, and they're both doing different things to try to reach the same kind of goal. But I don't know. There's just like this. A lot of the previews were very good for it, and maybe it's FOMO kicking in.
Might be
FOMO for slow-mo. Yeah.
FOMO for slow-mo.
I think I might want to give it a shot. Maybe probably not at launch, but like a month later or something like that, I might jump in.
Well, definitely wait till it goes on sale, because everything goes on sale during the holidays.
True.
It's just wait for. We got a Prime Day coming up, October 10th through the 11th. Never know.
And we were talking about Epic Games. I believe Alan Wake 2 is being published by Epic.
I think it is too,
because they signed a 3-year contract with Remedy like 2 years ago. And so that's what Epic does now. They make Fortnite, but they publish everything else.
Yeah, they make Fortnite, publish everything else. Cool. Hey, moving on. Horizon Forbidden West. Now this game's gonna look phenomenal on a PC.
I am fighting sleep.
It ain't gonna make you. It ain't gonna stop you from falling asleep.
I am literally rocking back and forth. Can you tell by my mic placement that I'm rocking back and forth to keep myself awake?
You know what? I can't.
You know what?
You know what? I really can't tell, because that amazing mic and interface that you have.
This isn't that mic.
What mic is it?
This is the Bumblebee. This is the
how many mics do you have now?
I've had look.
I know you bought different mic. Is this the mic that you used when you went out of town?
No.
So what mic is this?
Mic. Actually, no. Yes. Wait. Depending. Hold on.
Oh my God. This is how we know he got way too much stuff.
I do have. Okay. All right. So check this out. I have a mic in my laptop bag. When I went out of town and we did a podcast, that's the mic I used. I forgot what mic that is. It's a snowball. It's a snowball. There you go. It's a snowball. So, snowballs ain't that great.
A blue snowball.
Yeah, blue ice snowball.
That thing is definitely USB, so you just plug right into your PC.
Right. So that's when I go out of town. Now, when you're hosting, because I gotta put the pod on my PC and I don't want any issues, I just, I set it up, everything up with OBS, and I just let it run. And I won't have anything else going on there. Just, the stream and rebroadcast.
I heard that laptop can't do anything but do that anyway.
Yeah, this old laptop I got right now.
How old it is.
all I can do is run Discord and use the browser to look at the stream, and that's it. And so I got this little Bumblebee, which is not a bad USB mic at all, honestly. But the one you're talking about is the Wave 3 because it replaced my Audio Technica, my actual old main mic I had for 5 years. But yeah, that I'm not using that at the moment. When I did lunchtime with Slow Mo earlier, that's the mic I was using. So yeah. Anyway, but no.
Okay,
what was the purpose? What were we talking about?
Well, we were the game that puts you to sleep.
No, but I don't think that was it.
No. You said because you talked about you were rocking back and forth in your chair, and I was like, I can't tell the difference based on
yeah. I think this is a condenser mic, so it just kind of
picks up everything.
It picks up everything. So,
well, listen, man, there's a lot of people out there that's going to want to play Horizon Forbidden West on PC.
Really?
Yeah, shout out to Capono. He's in the chat right now talking about he can't wait to play it on the best platform with the best graphics ever.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
And the game looks good already. So if you want a showpiece, that's what this game's going to be. Are you going to double dip? Though is the question.
And Nixus is making it, so it's going to be good.
So they might actually fix some of the slowness in the game.
I'm not double dipping because
you did it once and never going to do it again, huh?
I didn't care for the first game that much, although I thought the story got better, but whatever. Second game, I feel like the story took a major step back, and I do enjoy playing like the actual stuff that you're doing, like rock climbing and combat is better than the first game. It's just it's boring, and I fall asleep playing it, and so I'm not going to do that at my desk in my office on PC. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So yeah,
listen, it's going to definitely put you to sleep. So what do you think in general? Okay, so did they actually put out any? Well, that's not coming out till next year. I think on October 5th is when it's coming. The complete edition is coming to PlayStation, which is next week, with all the DLC. So, but yeah, we won't probably see any information on what the PC. It's gonna be incredible looking. We already know that because Nixus knows what they're doing. So, another game, what is it they call the whole slate? I mean, Jim Ryan did good by PC before he left. He did good for PC. But before we get on to, Jim Ryan and everything that happened there, let's talk about, because I didn't make it a topic. I just didn't know how far we would actually get in and with the show and everything. I definitely want to talk. Well, have you played Cyberpunk yet?
Yes, I have.
Tell me, is it everything you thought it was going to be? Is it like the best game of the generation now? And that's what I'm hearing.
No, it's not.
Oh, you sound disappointed.
No, I'm not. I'm just like, I just think people have a cap machine and just can't help themselves. But they just go cap, fresh fitted cap on every single day. They just keep capping. Look, it looks better. What the great thing about Cyberpunk right now is that you could play it. You have an NVIDIA card. You could play it. Turn on ray tracing and still play it at a really good, acceptable frame rate. It is definitely difficult on the hardware. So there's things that you just gonna have to accept with that, and see what's up. But they fixed the game. They fixed the game like a year ago. But there were some things that I was kind of irked about. Some changes that they made that made me kind of go, "Well, why do that?"
Yeah.
That kind. They made some changes with your heals. I think it's just now on a cooldown. Like you just can just heal it, and I don't like that. Before I was able, I put like my build. I had so much into crafting, so I can craft like the very best heal packs. I think they're called either Max Docs or the Bounce Back MK1s, but I had like over 800 of them, Forte.
Dang.
I was never going to run out.
Why did you have so many?
Because I made that many, and I wanted to make enough that I was never going to have to make any more again.
I mean, that takes the fun out of it, though, doesn't it?
Not for me.
I mean,
don't have that functionality in the game if you don't want me to do it. But I made a whole, and it's not like it's like an aim assist kind of thing. This is just literally, I got enough heals that I don't need to wait and go or take someone down and steal a med pack off of them. Mm-hmm. No, I got all the med packs over here, and but they changed that, and it seems like now it's more traditional with it, but I'm still kind of upset because I spent hours building that up, and now all that was worthless. The skill trees are a bit different. I can't really put my finger quite yet on whether I like them better or not, and that's also due to the fact that I haven't got too deep in it, and I haven't started Phantom Liberty yet. I've just been trying to get used to all the new systems that are in the game now. The new abilities that you have, that kind of stuff. I haven't really dove into it too much, so I want to go do that, and I'm taking my time. Like I haven't seen Idris Elba yet. I haven't jumped in Dogtown to start the new mission quest line. I've just been really enjoying playing the game. Period, and it's money on
PC.
Like on PC, it's freaking great. Like it looked like path tracing looks amazing. I on my PC, I'm playing at 1440p max settings with like if I optimize for anything, I optimize for the ray tracing, and so I'm getting like 80, 90 frames per second.
That's with that 3080, right?
3080 Ti with ray tracing on. That's what I'm getting. Now, if I switch to 4K to my 4K monitor and play it in 4K, I would drop down to 30 FPS.
Oh yeah, easily. If you want to.
But this is also with DLSS 3.5 installed. It's pretty freaking demanding. Now, I did try it with path tracing on, but I didn't do it on my PC. I did it through GeForce Now because I have access to a 4080 in the cloud. And although at least this is how I feel, when you have DLSS on, at least in this game, there's some latency going on. And it doesn't feel that good.
Just natively when you play the game, or is it just through
NVIDIA? It's just with path tracing on.
Oh, so
I don't think it's an NVIDIA issue. I think it's because of path tracing on, and they're using denoisers with DLSS 3.5 to make you know how like sometimes when you have on DLSS and it's in performance mode.
Yeah.
And let's say you're in Cyberpunk. You know how like Cyberpunk looks like somebody's entire job is to just spray the hose on the street everywhere you go, right? Yeah. And so everything is just glistening for no reason. And if you just stand there, don't move, just stand there. You will see like a shimmering, or you'll see like a what's the word? A sparkle, so to speak. Like you're not moving, and therefore the reflections through ray tracing, the ray trace reflections, the ray trace lighting, all that's, unless it's lighting coming from something that should be kind of showing like a current, like a light bulb or something like that, or whatever. Like you're not looking at any of that stuff. You're just looking at down the street, and you'll see like this little flicker happening off in the distance. And this fixes all that stuff. DLSS 3.5 fixes all that stuff. But there's more latency. So it's not quite ready for prime time. I feel like NVIDIA kind of pushed CDPR into, this is just my opinion, I don't know anything, but I feel like they pushed CDPR into getting this ready for the launch of Phantom Liberty, but when it really wasn't quite ready.
Yeah, but probably the one few game that could actually take advantage of it where it actually makes a huge difference, though.
True.
That's probably why they wanted to do it.
But look,
but at least you can turn it off.
Yes, you can, but I mean, you don't want to. You don't want to turn it off.
He said you can, but you don't want to.
Yeah, look, if at this point with the latest update and with their new texture pipeline going, I could probably play Cyberpunk 1440p max settings with no ray tracing and get over 3 frames per second. I'm sorry, 3. I meant like 3-digit frames per second, like hundreds in the hundreds. I'm moving.
I was gonna say 3 frames per second. You basically sliding, bro.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's
you
that's
ain't even slide. You skipping.
That's the lethargic nature of doing the Horizon Forbidden West topic has got me so sleepy that I'm saying things that I don't mean. So I apologize.
Well, that's why I moved on from that one real quick, because I can't be losing you this early in the show.
No, but no. I think I think they got like DLSS 3.5. Like, so they got this thing called ray reconstruction, which is, I mentioned denoisers before. And with denoisers, what they do, so the way it all works, just, we'll try to break it down as simple as possible. DLSS has a way of lowering resolution and then creating the frames at a higher resolution through the GPU. The game isn't doing it, the GPU is, right? And it's worked for really demanding games. But with ray tracing, especially newer ray tracing coming out right now, and then of course path tracing, it in order to keep the stability that DLSS is trying to create, it's lowering the resolution of ray tracing features that can't have a lower resolution without looking really bad. If that makes sense. You still with me? You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what DLS 3.5 does is they've optimized it to actually have denoisers that lower the resolution. Well, they have DLSS lowering the resolution, and then they have the denoisers making sure that flickering glimmer thing that I mentioned earlier is removed. And they are designed specifically for ray tracing. So they made DLS 3.5 specifically to be used with ray tracing on, to give you the same frame rate that you would get from, say, older DLSS with just straight up regular rendering the game. But some of those features, like the ray reconstruction, where they are making it so that like path tracing is like more realistic lighting and illumination and looks like real life. They're trying to make sure some of the errors that are in path tracing right now aren't there. And that's what ray reconstruction does. But ray reconstruction isn't exclusive to path tracing. It could be used for ray tracing too, but it's not there in DLS, so that's 3.5. That makes sense. So it just wasn't ready. It still looks great, and there's nothing that looks like it. And I think I won't go as far as say it's the best looking game ever, but it's top 3.
What's
by
better?
far.
What's better?
Horizon Forbidden West is in there. I kind of want to say Red Dead 2 still is in there.
Red Dead 2 looks incredible.
Have you? I haven't done this in a while, but I might install it on PC and just max the settings at 4K and just walk around because it looks amazing. And I think those 3 might be it. I might drop Red Dead 2 out of there for something else, but I just can't think of anything else that visually.
I think you should buy for Forbidden West and see how beautiful and gorgeous it look like on your PC.
All right, so yeah, I could do that, and I'll record 1.5 hours of it, and I'll get a refund because I don't want it. I don't want it.
That's what you need to do. Just
see, look, and that's the sad thing is that like this is what people say PC gamers do all the time. You don't even want these games. You just want to benchmark it, go on Twitter, brag about how it plays better than it does on consoles, and then refund it. And I'm like,
yep.
That's what other people do. I actually play and beat these games.
Well, that's what you do with that game.
Yeah, I might have to do that with that one because I'm not finished.
Because you do. Because let's be for real, you definitely want to see at least what it looks like on PC.
Yeah,
because it's like one of the best looking games. Like that's what I keep telling people about that game. That game is it's like the pretty girl with no soul. That's what that game is. It looks good. It looks goddamn good. Like the draw distance.
No soul. Hold on, I want to say. Let me tell you about some of the areas where Decima Engine is better than CDPR's Red Engine. Then CDPR's Red Engine, by the way, it's a dead engine because they announced they're going Unreal Engine 5 for all their games going forward. So this is the last time you're going to see Red Engine. But I still notice this when I look at this game, and it's so jarring sometimes looking at character models' faces, and it's like not the ones that are hand done because this is a main character like Judy and Pan Am and all the other like Big Rogue, people like that. Like all the main character models look amazing. And there are even some of the like Ripper Docs and other characters that you meet look really good. They can't touch Guerrilla Games when it comes to character models, details in the faces, authentically looking black people in Horizon Forbidden West with realistic like black features like the shape of a nose, the texture of the hair. We talked about the last show when we had Mooch and One Bad Mother on, we talked about like how they had one guy whose entire job at Guerrilla Games is to just work on her hair for Aloy, and it took him 2 years to perfect it. Like it almost kind of like feels like that, like with the rest of the characters, just regular side characters, great hair. Now, you do have to kind of like, because you got to put this on a limited console, you got to cut some corners here or design things in a certain way where you can put the detail where you want people to look. Like if you go into a cutscene and you're not really a cutscene, but a dialogue tree, you're talking to somebody that you just met or whatever. You don't see the detail around the person as well as you see that person itself, and they kind of want you to really see these amazing character models for what they are, to somewhat a little bit of the detriment of the environment in that shot. But then once you're out in the open world, the environment looks freaking amazing too. And so this is why I'm kind of like, it's almost a semantics kind of thing. Because I can see some people looking at Cyberpunk and be like, there's nothing better looking than this. The buildings, the way they look, the weapons, the ray trace effects, how nicely it looks at night. I can see some people being like, oh, that looks better than colorful rainbow Skittle looking colors all over the place in the open world Horizon Forbidden West. But I think that's more of a subjective opinion there. I don't really think that one's better than the other, but that's just me. I wouldn't say it doesn't have any soul, though. I think those characters, not Aloy, but the rest of them definitely show it has soul. What's that?
No, I said, who do you play with 90% of the time?
What do you mean?
You play with Aloy 90% of the time.
Yeah, but then you're talking to these people with the great character models in here.
Let's be for real, Slow-Mo. You loved the first game. You couldn't even stomach the second game once you got to certain parts.
I didn't love the first game. I grew to like the first game. I was bored in the first game too for like the first 15 hours.
You just fought your way through.
And then I hit a point where they unfolded the whole story to me. And I will say this again I'll say it to my dying breath. They need to make a TV series or a movie based upon the actual Project Dawn, the Project Zero Dawn storyline.
Mm-hmm.
That the lore of that world is really fascinating stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So, moving on to another topic. I didn't even think about this because I thought I had it on here and I didn't. How much longer do we actually have to wait for the Activision stuff to go through? Like,
oh my gosh! Like,
what's going on?
Before November. Like it'll get done before the deadline, which is like I think it's
October 18th. October 18th is when
it'll be done before then. Yeah.
But we still got to deal with the FTC wanting to go to court and say we're gonna find a way to unwind this thing. It's so crazy, man. I was like, listen, it's like they tried. It's like they felt like they let Jim Ryan down, so now they got to go in and try to do it again in a different way. It's kind of crazy, but let's move on to the next topic, man. Let's talk about Jim Ryan, everybody's favorite PlayStation CEO / president of operations / ex-CFO of the European market. I am tired of going between countries and continents to run this country. You know that, Jim Ryan.
I got. What is your thought on this? Do you think? Are you in the camp that Jim Ryan was forced out?
No.
Are you in the camp that
I think that man
his
tired.
statement is legit?
I think it's legit. 30 years is a lot, man. That's a lot of years right there. I do think that. I don't think he was forced out. I do think in general, I think he's just tired. I also think he just wants to get out before it gets bad. Because I think he knows what's coming. He knows what's coming for PlayStation on the back end. And
wait a minute. You think? Wait. Let's go back.
Go ahead.
Rewind
the tape. What's up?
Before it gets bad for PlayStation. What do you think is happening? What do you think is going to happen with PlayStation?
Listen, this is what I think is happening with PlayStation right now. At the beginning of this generation, PlayStation. Remember we were talking that whole conversation about, Xbox has nothing coming out. PlayStation, Xbox didn't have any launch games with their Xbox Series X system, or the Xbox Series S. No launch games. PlayStation had a bunch of launch games. They had Demon Souls, they had Spider-Man, Miles Morales. You know, they had Ratchet and Clank 6 months later, and they had Returnal 7 months later. So they had a bunch of games that came out in the course of that year. So they had a really, really good window and opportunity to get a lot of people excited for PlayStation. And then over the next year, we ain't seen that much in games. And then we got the 2022 or 2023. And Spider-Man's the only thing we getting this year for PlayStation first party. It's not that I don't think, because I know PlayStation is working on a lot of games. I think a lot of stuff got delayed out because, you know, shout out to B Money, always knowing things. You know, he told us a long time ago. He said there's supposed to be a lot more stuff that got delayed out. And I think they're just either not ready, or the pipeline is basically affecting them like it affected Microsoft at the beginning of the generation, where Microsoft is starting to finally hit the ground running with a lot of their games starting to come out. You know, Redfall was delayed. Who cares about Redfall anyway? But if you think about, nobody cares about it. But if you think about the leaks and stuff, those leaks Starfield was supposed to come out in 2021, and they delayed it internally. And then they gave it a date for 2022, and then they ended up having to delay it to 2023. So I just think that Xbox is finally getting to the point where they're starting to release their games. PlayStation hit the ground running with a lot of their games up front. And the bet is, I don't know if Jim, and this is just me, just hyperbole, it could be that I'm just thinking out loud. You know, a lot of people like to leave when everything is good. And right now, PlayStation's in a really good space. Right now, PlayStation is doing really well in revenue. They're really good in their overall services department. You know,
are they?
Yeah, they are actually. They're actually still making money. And that's the one thing that,
I mean, they are, but like people aren't happy with the way they raise prices. Listen, they have not delivered on the content for the services like they said they would.
Are we really gonna hold that against PlayStation when most of these people don't hold that against? No.
The ones who decide to not put games in the service, and they're also the ones who decide to raise the price. So yes, I'm gonna blame PlayStation.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying, but all of these people out here that wanted to blame Microsoft for the same exact thing, and they don't want to blame PlayStation for it. Now it seems like they don't want to blame PlayStation for the reason of all these other things. They just want to say, "Oh, it's complicated." You know, PlayStation's got all these games they came out with over the course of the last year, but we don't give that same quarter to anybody else. I just truly believe they're in a funk right now because they blew their wad at the beginning of the generation. Literally, they have nothing right now. It's like they're in this time period, and we said this back in 2018. When Xbox purchased all those studios, we said there was going to be growing pains with these studios because they released games already. So you're not going to see a game from them for 5 to 6 years. That's why you ain't seen nothing from like what's the name of the studio? The Outer Worlds.
Oh, Obsidian,
because they had just released Outer Worlds and stuff. And you haven't seen anything from any of these other studios. Like the only game, like Epic just put out a game. Not Epic, I called them Epic. The Coalition just put out Gears 5 around that time. So a lot of these studios released games back then. So you're gonna be like, we purchased a lot of studios. We didn't have any first parties, so we built the first party up. So now we got to wait for these games to hit. And then you had 2020 hit with the pandemic that pushed everything back at least a year and a half. And now you're seeing them getting caught up to it. Remember when everybody was talking about PlayStation PlayStation didn't get harmed by COVID. They were able to develop through COVID. Look at all the games they released. Because guess what, Slow-Mo? All those games was already in the pipeline by who? Sean Layton, that was already at PlayStation. All these games that your boy Jim Ryan been living off of. These games were already in development under Sean Layton before he took over the company in 2019. And we even said it. This is why we said this year was Jim Ryan's PlayStation. This is the year of Jim Ryan being officially the head of PlayStation, because all of those games that released were basically put into motion by Sean Layton. So I think he's looking at it like, yo, let me get out. Let me get out now. Because they're working on games of a service and they don't know how that's going to land with their They don't know how that's really going to land because they
baked
the big fortune into that.
Do they really think so? You're getting into so this is what I think.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know for certain if Jim Ryan is leaving because he was forced out or
I don't think he was forced out. I kind
of touched on this on my on lunchtime with Slow Mo earlier today, where I basically gave an example, some real life examples of two people leaving at my company, but one was fired, the other left on their own volition, they quit. But they both, if on the surface, for people who weren't in the know, they just think that they both just chose to leave.
Right.
Now, I brought that up because it's just like everyone is using the things that they're seeing or the things that Jim Ryan said and just taking it for face value or coming up with their own theories. And until we get a confirmation, that's all we're going to have.
That's all we're going to have. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But if you want to go into the realm of he was forced out, which absolutely could be very, very true that he was forced out. If you want to go there, I think the reason why, if he was forced out, that occurred is likely due to the Bungie acquisition.
You think so?
Yeah.
What about the Bungie acquisition? Other than the fact that they spent
They overpaid for him.
Or you talk about because of the creative freedom that they're not giving their studios anymore, and Bungie
you overpaid for a studio that you can't get exclusive games out of.
I definitely agree with that. That was crazy.
And then you didn't elevate them to a role where they are now an anomaly in your hierarchy and your structure, where this is a brand new not a brand new studio, but a brand new studio to PlayStation, telling quote unquote one of their best studios ever and one of the best studios ever in Naughty Dog, Factions 2 is trash. You're going to have to work on this. I can see how that can be problematic. I can see how it may have just barely been accepted to acquire Bungie for that cause. And then, they're supposed to be mentoring these other studios and making sure that at least some of these live service games are moderate hits, and maybe one or two of them are like games that people play for a decade, right?
Right.
But what if that's not the case behind the scenes? What if Marathon looks cool, but it's an extraction shooter and, it's acquired taste? But what if the other ones what if Fair Games looks terrible? What if Concord looks terrible? I mean, that's Jim Ryan. That's Jim Ryan managing that stuff. I could definitely see them him man, it's about to get nasty. Let me get up out of here before the ish hits the fan.
Do you think that Bungie actually told Naughty Dog that, or do you think that was told to senior leadership at PlayStation and they relayed that information to Naughty Dog?
I can't remember if it was depicted how it kind of played out was depicted, but it was explicitly stated that Bungie was that trusted with this kind of information.
I believe that. I'm just saying it would be hard for me.
So the thing is that it's kind of hard to reconcile Bungie telling Naughty Dog your game's trash.
I couldn't see Bungie doing that. I could see them going into them and seeing and overlooking the game and seeing where it was at.
Game got rescoped. That game got rescoped because of Bungie, which means it got delayed because of Bungie saying this ain't gonna work, fam.
No, I agree with that. That's absolutely what happened.
They're like producers over these first party studios that are making multiplayer games, which to a degree I get it.
They should because
I mean, I get it. I would prefer more just consulting.
I also don't feel bad for them because they signed the contract for them to do that. And it's not like and it's not, see, and this is the same thing that we argued about, 5-6 years ago when it was Activision and Bungie. Whereas I told you I didn't really blame Activision for any of that, because guess what? Bungie signed a contract. They the ones that put themselves in it. Well, you kept saying, well, how was their game going to get made? I was like, well, you got to kind of think about those things when you're trying to, make deals about your game. Just like PlayStation, I felt like did the dumbest thing in the world by letting them sign a contract that they don't even get any other assets and kickbacks off. Well, they get the kickback off of, but they don't get none of the revenue. They don't get no say so what happens with any of their games.
Yeah, and so I think like for those reasons, he might have put himself in a bad position.
But that's Sony's fault, because Sony had to sign off on that. That's not Jim Ryan came to them with the proposal, but Sony has to sign off on that. He can't just write that check himself. So it's not like Sony didn't know, and that's the only thing they didn't know. This.
Who initiated the idea of, we were talking to them before, talks fell through, they wanted too much money. Okay.
Well, that's the same thing that happened with Microsoft. The talks fell through because of money and stuff.
Now, things have changed, and now maybe we can go and make this deal due to the APK thing happening, and we can go overspend for that, because we really want is to create a live service game that can completely allow us to not care about COD thing or not and be good.
Now, Gregor did
say that's their goal.
Well, Gregor did bring up a good point where Bungie isn't even under PlayStation; it's under Sony. It's like it's a branch that's not even under the PlayStation. It's like literally in line with the PlayStation division.
So it's like I wonder if this stuff is problematic for him. I wonder if like this, like who said that was a fine idea. Go forward with that, and how that's working behind the scenes. I wonder. Maybe he was, but it's just I wonder if that is part of the reason why he's leaving.
Yeah,
because those games, some of them are going to drop next year, and that's the only content that we know that's coming next year.
We know that's coming next year, right? Especially since the rumors of that state of play that's supposed to be coming with first party just seems like it's never going to happen.
Right. And so if this is all you got in the pipeline, this is the first time in a long time that we don't have a roadmap for PlayStation. Up for a long time. Right. Up to maybe starting at like 2016, 2015, 2016. You knew what was coming out on PlayStation the year before, the next year. You knew what was coming out. And you were ready for it. What do we know that's coming out right now? Spider-Man 2 in less than a month. That's it. We can speculate that Fair Games and Concord and Marathon will come out next year, but we don't know for certain.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wonder if there are some development problems going on behind the scenes. Brian E says Helldivers 2. If I recall correctly, Helldivers 2 is you know what? We can count that. That's fine. Because it's a second party game, but we've also in the past have counted like State of Decay 2 when Undead Labs wasn't acquired. We've had a number of different Xbox published games come out, like As Dusk Falls, made by Internight. They don't own Internight. Big Man Mode in the Chest is Wolverine 2025. That's not a guarantee.
Yeah, I understand what they're saying.
We
just don't know when they're coming,
we saw a teaser trailer for Wolverine in 2021. That's what we saw.
Man, we just saw a man sitting at a bar. That's what we saw.
And so and him popping the gloves out. That's all we saw. Yeah. That is all that we know about Wolverine. So we don't really know those release dates for anything that is what we consider to be the Sony template. Single player, third person perspective, narrative driven games. Where are they at?
Right.
Because we're not certain that you can handle the live service stuff. We're not certain that the live service games you're going to make are going to be of the same quality as the other content. So when I want to see your roadmap, look, I play my multiplayer games all the time, B. I don't need your multiplayer content. I'll take it, especially if it's good. But I don't need that.
A lot of people want that, though. That's the thing.
So that's where I'm kind of coming from with, like, if he was forced out, I'm thinking it's due to things of them looking in the future and being like, he's kind of not set us up in the best position. So,
well, the funny thing, we'll see. So the biggest question is, how far does this set? How far do we think Sony is? Sony set back? Do we think that they're in any type of trouble?
I don't think they're in trouble right now. I do think that it is not a good look when you don't do a showcase for a year and a half, and when you finally do a showcase, it stinks.
I do agree with that.
And you've got no self-awareness that your showcase stinks. I think that's problematic.
Yeah.
But he's broken records, revenue records in a year. He's broken all kinds of records, and all that stuff should be commended, and he should get credit for all of it. Yet at the same time, he's not perfect. And so if there are other things that were supposed to be done, or other things that are behind game development in process, then yeah, maybe they just looking and just like, hey, look, it's just not working with this guy.
Well,
we gotta get someone else in here.
Well, so. And like Gregor said, I can't believe Jim is getting fired for releasing Spider-Man 2 and Final Fantasy Rebirth months apart after possibly selling more consoles in 1 year than a competition in an entire gen. I mean, that is on his resume. That he's, I mean, the landscape in gaming has changed so much just in the last 2 years. Like, yeah, PlayStation has been doing really, really well, but the one thing I can't fight anybody on is the fact that it's been an abysmal. This is not the time of the year or just a time in a generation where you shouldn't have anything. Like, at least a roadmap. I don't know if I think the Activision stuff kind of hurt a little bit because they kind of they didn't really want to show their hand on anything. But I also think it just doesn't help the fact that now that they done lost that fight, what are you holding back now for? Like, why are you not showing what the future of PlayStation looks like now that you know that this is kind of over, unless for some reason they think it's not over and they don't want to.
The only thing I think of is the game's aren't ready to be shown.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And that's why I keep going back to the fact that, unfortunately, PlayStation blew their wad in 2020. Not 2020, in 2021, in 2022. They had a bunch of games that came out because they had them ready. It was really, really good forecasting by PlayStation to have their games ready after the launch of the PlayStation 5, where Xbox didn't have that. And I just keep going back to that conversation where everybody kept saying PlayStation was able to do this and they were able to do that. They weren't affected by this. And I'm like, okay, well, we'll see. And guess what? All of these studios, that they have that release games then, guess what? Now they don't have anybody to release games now because they're either, they're working on something else or they just released a game over the course of the last couple of years. Like, when are we going to see that, what's the name game that Guerrilla Games is working on? We know they're
the multiplayer game.
The multiplayer game, exactly.
Look, and hey, well, you need to direct that question to Bungie. Hey, Bungie, when we're going to see this Guerrilla multiplayer game, Bungie go, when I like it.
When I like it.
When I like what they're doing, you're going to see it. Until then, you might get a teaser trailer that's 30 seconds long and don't explain anything.
Well, that's their forte, no pun intended. But I don't know. I just find it real hard to think that. I mean, but then again, that's kind of what they're in that position for. That's what that extra, that 3.6, 3.9, whatever, $3.6 billion was for them to critique their games. I would just think that at a certain point, it still falls in PlayStation's in their court to be able to make these decisions. And maybe the fact that I think Jim Ryan probably leaned that much heavily on Bungie's decision, it didn't make his own decision on it. Kind of the reason he's out of there, because I guess they're looking at it probably as if he was forced out. Well, why do we need you in all the games that you got that's coming out are live service games, and you got Bungie basically handling that for you? So why do we need you? And and if you think about it, if you want to add more credence to the fire, the fact that what's that, he's taking over the company, taking over the position until they find a suitable CEO, and he's going to be doing his job on the back end of that. It kind of lends itself to thinking that Bungie is going to be handling a lot of that stuff, because who's going to be overseeing any of that stuff? Do you think that Jim Ryan is going to be the person overseeing any of that over the course of the next couple of the next 6 to 7 months? Because he's pretty much on his way out the door. What kind of decisions can he really make over 6 months that are going to be impactful to the development of the game? Because he's basically sticking it out basically through their fiscal year.
I mean, you make a good point. We're just gonna have to see, man.
It's very interesting.
But I don't think that we're going to get the full story. Like when Sean Layden was sent packing, they were the same. Well, a lot of people that were defending Sony wouldn't do that. Sony would never do that. He must have did something, and no, he should be.
Well, what do you think about Sean Layton's tweet when he was talking about the cost of games and how we're at this paradigm that it needs to sit, like sitting in the middle doesn't work anymore?
You do have to kind of sit or get off the pot, right?
Right.
The cost of AAA gaming is increasing, but it's been high. Like it's getting higher, but it's been high for years. It was high last generation. But that's their MO. That's how their studios are set up, to spend a lot of money on those games, but then make the money back. And I think there are a lot of people who want that experience. That's what they're there for.
What I remember in those leaked documents from the thing where PlayStation's games got leaked on how much they paid for them, it was like Last of Us. How much were they? Do you remember what the numbers were on those games? How much it cost to make those games?
It was like they were $200 million each.
Wasn't it? It was Last of Us Part. Wasn't Last of Us Part 2
one of them? It was Horizon Forbidden West and Last of Us Part 2.
Part 2. Yeah. $200 million each, and both those games. And I know Last of Us sold over 10. Go ahead.
And there's a point being made in the chat from Capono that's a good point. Usually, so if I leave a company, I'm leaving on my own goodwill, right? And things are good. We got a good relationship. There's nothing wrong with me and the company. But I'm leaving. I'm retiring. I want to, you give them 2 weeks notice. And in that 2 weeks notice, you may be showing the person who's going to take over your role the ins and outs of some things to help them hit the ground running,
Mm-hmm.
I said the same thing about BioWare when Casey Hudson and Mark Dara left, and they didn't have replacements for them. Like that doesn't look like they quit, like the company said. It looked like EA fired them.
That's true. You did say that.
John Layton Jim Ryan doesn't have a replacement right now, and even though they say he's not stepping down until March 24th, they've already admitted that the other guy, Tokoto, I think is his name, has already temporarily taken over.
Yeah, that is.
I don't know. You tell me if that look. Here's it's just you make the announcement. I don't know if they made the announcement because Justin Schrader leaked it, or whether they were planning on doing it the way today anyway. But I mean,
well, if he was being forced out, it would have been like
you make this announcement. No, because they're going to save face regardless.
Yeah,
you're not going to take a guy that's been working there for 30 years and embarrass him on the way out.
No, but you're going to let him stay 7 months.
You're going to let him stay. I think it's April might be the end of their fiscal year.
Yeah, the end of March.
So yeah, he's staying on until the end of the fiscal year. That's for finances' sake.
But usually they would. Well, you would think that they probably would have. He would stay as a figurehead, a token CEO during that time. But like Pono said,
he's interim. He's interim. He's the new guy. Todoroki. I probably
he's taking
that.
He's taking over in March, in April.
Explicitly said interim. Interim. The interim designator means you are temporary. You're there to just hold it down, maintain the status quo until someone with a vision and some actual autonomy to make changes comes in. So they can find that person before Jim Ryan's out, or they can find that person after. But this new guy, Totoki, yeah, that guy. He
just say Hiroki.
Isn't yeah, Hiroki. Hiroki is in charge until that happens. You know,
Hiroki Totoki.
Yeah, and so that there are a lot of points on both sides of why it is or is not him being forced out or not. Regardless, he's gone.
Yeah, that's true. And some people are going to be happy and some people are going to be, I mean, I think there's probably more people that are happy.
And I don't understand why you happy yet.
I don't, because you don't know what you about to get.
You don't know what you about to get. You might get someone who you dislike running PlayStation more than Jim Ryan.
Hey man, we done all had jobs where we were like, man, I'm so happy that they're replacing that person, and then all of a sudden the new person that come in is worse. It's like, I'll take that old dude back instead of this.
Right. So you never know. I'm just hoping they keep the status quo on PC. Because, I mean, they could go either way. They could be like, hey, we're going day and date. New guy could come in and say, let's do day and date. Let's go.
Right.
Or the new guy could come in and be like, I don't want to put anything on PC.
That's true.
So.
Yeah, it's true.
We'll have to see, man.
I don't know, man. Let us know in the comment section what you guys think about it. I'll put a poll up for y'all where we can talk about it on this last topic. But, you know, do you think that Jim Ryan was forced out, or do you think he left of his own power? You know, just let us know inside of this this poll. But moving on to the final and last topic, guys, let's talk about the fact that nobody should ever have their information on any of these consoles, first of all. And if you are going to have it on there under like something like PayPal, where you got to go through like different checks and balances before your money is taken from you, because PlayStation has been hacked. Well, not even PlayStation, Sony has been hacked in all of their systems, and they have been ransomed to basically come out and say that they wanted all this information, and if they don't get it, they're going to release it to the highest bidder and stuff like that. So, Slow-Mo, once again, do you have any of your information on any of these platforms? You probably do, don't you?
I do have a credit card on my PSN account.
Did you remove it already?
I changed the password, and
it still didn't remove it, though.
No, I didn't. No, I just changed the password. I already had 2-factor authentication on, but yeah.
Yeah, but so what do you? So first of all, anybody can be hacked. PlayStation can be hacked. Xbox can be hacked. Google, Apple, doesn't matter.
What I've learned is that whether you get hacked or not is really all about the motivation and the determination of the people that are trying to hack you. That's it, really. Anything can be hacked with enough time.
Yeah, I mean, you give people time. That's all they kind of need.
But that's it. That still doesn't absolve them for getting hacked. If it happened, it still doesn't absolve them from being hacked again.
What has it been 12 years since the great hack of 2011?
Yeah, that was rough. I don't think this is as rough as this. Definitely isn't as rough.
No, this isn't as rough. I mean, that shut the whole server down for 2 months. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
That literally changed the scale. I don't think they already didn't have a really good grasp in the shooter department.
This is gonna be bad.
No, go ahead.
This is gonna be bad.
Go ahead.
I hope it's real. In a way.
Why?
Hold on. Bear with me.
You're right. This is bad. You really hope this is real.
I'm not hoping that people's information is out there. It's my information too, okay? But it's a leak.
Oh. Okay. I'm with you.
So we might actually get know about these games.
Oh my God! He said that's why you said it's bad, because you just want to know. You such a gamer, such a freaking gamer. He's I don't care. Man, I don't care about y'all credit. You know what? I'm sorry that all y'all got y'all credit cards on these systems, but I want this to happen so I can know when the next Chrono Trigger's coming on PlayStation.
Take your credit card off your account.
It's already taken now.
No. Well, yeah. Okay, all right.
You can call your bank and tell them your card was lost.
Get a new card. Get a new card with a new number. Hey, that sucks. Go ahead and get it done now. Let's see these games, man. Look. It's already out there. They got hacked. hey, look, scumbags. Don't reveal the credit card info. Just go to the section of the stuff you stole and just go to the gaming project section and just tell me what's up.
I can't. This man literally said this is gonna be bad. I hope it's true. It's like all listen, that is the most gamer stuff you ever said.
Sony, don't pay. Don't bow down. You never pay terrorists, because all you're doing is creating the precedent where they're gonna go and
I can't deal, man.
And hack you again for more money. So don't pay. Also, don't be mad when they leak it. So I'm just saying, look, I don't want nobody getting their credit card info stolen. But honestly, come on, man. Do y'all know how easy it is to steal your credit card? Your credit card and your debit card now all have a chip on it. You know that RF chip, right?
That don't do nothing.
You know how easy they actually made it easier for people to steal your credit card information,
to clone it.
They could just just walk in a. Do people go to malls anymore? I don't know. Like, so let's say you're at a mall. You're in a mall. You got your wallet in your pocket with your credit card with the RF chip on it. Someone can walk past you with a little wand pointed in your direction. And because your RF your credit card is pushing out the frequency of your card number at all times, they can just walk past you and take it.
That's true if you don't have the little shielding on it, like inside the little pouch. They can't just do that,
right? Or you can be like how my wife is. She just puts her credit card in her back pocket and go on about her day.
Oh, your wife don't have like a wallet to put? She just puts it in her back pocket?
She got 20 wallets.
But she don't use them?
She don't use them. And she just walks out the door with the card in her back pocket.
The joint card or her card?
just her card.
Oh my God! So Slow-Mo said, if you're gonna be doing that, you can't walk out here with. He said you can walk out of here with your money, but you ain't gonna walk out with ours.
They make wallets that protect from that.
They do.
Amazon sells you wallets that say they protect from that, and they don't.
Oh no,
they're a regular wallet.
I have the I got an extra one from the Secretary of State, because when you get your ID, they give you one to put your ID in that is shielded. I got an extra one that I put my credit card in, and I know those are shielded.
I know of scams where people. So this was happening near my job. There is a gas station that I will occasionally go to get gas on my way home. And there's also a hotel right by that gas station. I don't know how this guy got caught, but the guy had this guy had it set up where he was just getting credit card readings off of people off the gas station while sitting in a hotel room about 50 feet away.
That's wild. That's wild.
I say all this to say, it's all right if you got your credit card information stolen, man. Let's just get these leaks, baby.
Slow-Mo want the 2020 he want the 2030 plan from PlayStation. He was like, it would be nice to get it a week after the Xbox was.
It'd be perfect. Yes, we can compare and contrast. Don't y'all want to do that, man? Come on.
And while you at it, Nintendo, you might as well just go ahead and do it too.
Nintendo, jump in here. Show us what you got going on, Nintendo.
Man, come on, man. This is terrible. This show's over, man. Shout out to the 57 people that was here for the show today. We really appreciate you guys. Shout out to everybody in the chat. You guys are amazing. And with this being one of the, greatest weeks in news history, along with, contrasting being one of the worst couple of days in just our community in history, definitely we appreciate you guys, because we know you guys really, really love to support us and everything like that. And we just want you guys to stay safe out there with everybody that you're hanging out with and talking to, and, trust nobody out here in these streets. And we really appreciate you guys in general, and make sure you're just taking care of yourself. But with that, Slow-Mo, while you pull up your channel members, tell everybody where they can find you, what you got going on in your channel, and what the heck are you doing installing Destiny on your PC again?
Because I'm working on a video, and that involves Warframe and the First Descendant, and there's going to be a lot of comparing and contrasting of game design, mission design, and all that good stuff in between them all. So
that'll be a good video.
Yeah, I'm working on it now. Still working on some of the because I got so much. I have literally 160 gigs of footage from the First Descendant. So look, I played a lot of it over the past week. So I'm kind of sifting through so much of it that is I mean, there's nothing there that's very much unique to the First Descendant. And so I'm pretty much putting them in categories of where they got the influence from, So I need to reinstall Destiny so I could show people, why they are the same. Because look, here, the way you choose this mission is no different than how you choose this patrol in Destiny kind of stuff. So it's that kind of thing. So that instead of me telling people, hey, trust me, bro, it's just like Destiny, it's just like Warframe, I'm going to show you why it's just like Destiny and Warframe. So yeah. But channel members, let's do this. Shout out to everybody, and look, don't be mad at me because I said I kind of hope the leak is real, because I just want to see what they working with, and this is all their fault for not showing me in the first place. They would have given me a proper roadmap. I'd be like, oh no, this hack is terrible, man. They gotta get better security out here, and they do.
Slow-Mo.
They do need to hire me. They would never get hacked again.
Or Luca. I'll take Luca.
You take Luca over me?
No, I said you or Luca. I say I'll take you first, then I'll take Luca's. She's real early in it, but I'll take her.
She's learning.
Speaking of which, did you see the funniest gift of all those leaks was shout out to RDS and shout out to D-Batch. That man put up a picture of Sony security and it was a Cheeto in a lock. And the lock with the Cheeto is supposed to be like the nail in a lock. He said this is their security preventions. Oh my God. But go ahead with your channel members, bro.
Shout out to you guys. We really appreciate the way you guys support us. Shout out to Erodimus, Babe, Donnell Brown, Dragonheart Yobi, Enrique, Hargi Shanique, Truth Serum, Ramon Terrell, Homie One Kenobi, Gaming Forte, Corey Hill, Stardust Acero, and that guy Smitty.
Yeah, really appreciate you guys. And Capono, we missed you guys too last week, man. And trust me, just hearing you say that, you know, especially you, because you know you clown a lot, you make fun of us a lot, but we know it's all in good fun because you're always here supporting. And the fact that you sat here and said, like, listen, man, don't ever take another week off. That means a lot, man, because you know you really never know how people truly feel about you as like people and as a podcast. And we know you guys like to rock with us, but sometimes we be like, man, they probably just like to listen to us to tell their friends, like, these guys are idiots. I just like listening to them talk stupid stuff so I can tell my friends at home. But you know what? You guys really rock it, and we really appreciate that. And definitely will not try to ever take another week off unless we have to. But thanks again for everybody coming through. And for myself, Gaming Forte, YouTube, Twitter, you're already here. Once again, if you want to see any of the articles, they are in the description down below. So is Slow-Mo's channel, his YouTube channel, his Twitter. Make sure you go down there and follow it there if you don't already follow the homie. And for channel members, we have Brat, Basement Radio Arcade Podcast, Darnell Brown, Dragonheart Yobi, Stardust Acero, Ron Terrell. I was literally in the middle of calling him.
Romy Rome.
I was about to call him Romy Rome Terrell. Ronnie Rome. Ronnie Rome Terrell. I've been watching a lot of Martin lately, man.
Roman house.
Roman in a house. Ramon Terrell, Hargi Chani, Corey Hale, Slow-Mo Backslash,
so tired.
DJ Forrest, and that guy Smitty. We really appreciate you guys, and definitely have a good week. And as always, play games, not Twitter, and be safe out there. And go buy Ramon Terrell's books. They're amazing. See you guys later. Peace.